Some film sets, tucked away in isolated locations and forgotten corners of the globe, stay still long after the cameras have stopped shooting. Asterix and Obelix, Mission Cleopatra's dilapidated Egyptian sets, the haunted hamlet of Big Fish, and the spooky remnants of Girl Interrupted's abandoned hospital are all remnants of Hollywood's past. Das Boot's submarine interiors are still eerily intact, and even the Abyss left behind a vast underwater set. These deserted sets provide an intriguing window into the film's past, where imagination once thrived but is now reduced to quiet. Come along as we investigate these iconic film sets, haunted and abandoned remains, uncovering the little-known tales of their desertion. Pirates of the Caribbean. The first three Pirates of the Caribbean movies, in particular, made a lasting impression on the Caribbean, physically and in popular culture. In Willilamboo Bay on St. Vincent, the enormous sets constructed for the fictional pirate refuge, Port Royal, remain intact. These relics include dilapidated docks, weathered colonial-style building facades, and even the famous Fort Charles built for the movies. Parts of the set have been reclaimed by nature over time, with rusting cannons partially buried in the sand and vines crawling over walls. The locals welcomed the location, hosting events with a pirate theme and offered guided tours. Interestingly, fans who wish to reenact Captain Jack Sparrow's daring exploits have made the bay a popular destination. The set's spooky, deserted atmosphere adds a sense of realism, giving the impression that it's a genuine pirate village frozen in time. Adventurers and movie enthusiasts alike should not miss it. The Hunger Games. District 12 was set against the eerie backdrop of Henry River Mill Village, North Carolina, which was transformed into the dystopian realm of the Hunger Games. Panem's desolate, gloomy atmosphere was abruptly portrayed by this abandoned mill village, which was already in ruins when the filmmakers arrived. The set's ruins today feature dilapidated homes, overgrown walkways, and the famous bakery where Katniss Everdeen and Pete Malark conducted business. With the aged props left behind, enthusiasts frequently reenact scenes or snap pictures at the site, which has become a pilgrimage attraction. It's interesting to note that the village's actual past as a textile mill town adds even more poignancy because it reflects the hardships faced by the coal miners in District 12. Even though the set is officially private property, people are drawn to it because of its uncanny allure, which makes it an intriguing fusion of reality and fiction. Popeye. Despite not being a box office success, Robin Williams' 1980 live-action Popeye film has left a lasting influence in Malta. The filmmakers built a village replete with vibrant wooden buildings, a harbor, and even a working water tower to make the cartoon world come to life. The set was abandoned once filming was finished, yet residents and visitors were drawn to its unique charm. Malta saw the village's potential and turned it into a family-friendly theme park named Popeye Village. Today, guests can tour the colorful set, take in live performances, and even meet Popeye in olive oil. The town has become one of Malta's most visited destinations, demonstrating that even a bad movie can have a happy, long-lasting effect. It serves as a humorous reminder of how movie sets can exist independently long after the cameras have stopped. Looper. For devoted fans, the abandoned cafe in Napoleonville, Louisiana, is a hidden treasure from the 2012 sci-fi movie Looper. Still standing in a far overgrown field is the building where Bruce Willis and Joseph Gordon-Levitt had a heated altercation. The diner has a spooky, post-apocalyptic vibe due to its weathered facade and broken windows, perfectly reflecting the film's decay and time themes. After a Reddit member discovered the set, fans began flocking to the website to take pictures and relive the film's most dramatic scenes. The diner feels like a forgotten artifact from a bygone era, and its remote location further heightens its allure. For fans of Looper, seeing the set is like entering the movie, providing a real-life link to its provocative story. The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly. In addition to being a masterpiece of film, The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly also left a piece of Hollywood history in Almeria, Spain. Constructed to mimic the American frontier, the expansive Western sets have endured and are now popular tourist destinations. Known as Texas Hollywood, the location transports tourists to the Wild West with its saloons, dusty lanes, and wooden structures. The sets now host live reenactments, film festivals, and guided tours, allowing visitors to immerse themselves in the heyday of Western cinema. Coincidentally, Almeria's arid landscape and rugged terrain made it a popular filming location for countless Westerns, earning it the nickname Europe's Hollywood. In an intriguing fusion of culture, history, and cinema, demonstrating some movie settings' timelessness. Gunsmoke. In Kanab, Utah, the venerable Gunsmoke television series, which lasted for an astounding 20 seasons, left a lasting legacy. As a reminder of the heyday of Western television, the exterior of the Long Beach Saloon, a key setting in the series, remains intact. Known as Little Hollywood, Kanab was a popular place to film many Westerns because of its beautiful, untamed scenery. Despite being worn down over time, the saloon set still has a nostalgic appeal that appeals to history historians and fans. Intriguingly, the town has embraced its history as a film destination, providing tours of the Gunsmoke set and other locations. Visiting this location is like traveling back in time to the Wild West, where Marshal Matt Dillon used to keep the peace for aficionados of the genre. Anyone who enjoys vintage television or the romance of the Old West should see it. The Hills Have Eyes. Despite being set in New Mexico, the spooky gas station set of the 2006 version of The Hills Have Eyes is really in Ouarzazate, Morocco. Because of its surreal desert scenery, Ouarzazate, often known as the Gateway to the Sahara, is a significant location for international film productions. With its corroded pumps and dilapidated building, the gas station set is a chilling reminder of the spooky mood of the movie. Fascinatingly, the renowned Atlas Studios, where innumerable other movies and television series have been filmed, is also in Ouarzazate. The petrol station is open for exploration, allowing locals to picture the terrifying events. The secluded setting of the site contributes to its eerie atmosphere, making it an intriguing visit for both movie buffs and horror fans. Westworld. Once a busy shopping mall, California's Hawthorne Mall was given new life as a primary filming site for the HBO series Westworld. The spooky, deserted hallways of the mall wonderfully encapsulated the futuristic yet dilapidated image of the event. The mall became even more well-known in mainstream culture after Westworld when it was featured in Taylor Swift's Ready For It music video. The mall is still deserted today, its dilapidated interiors preserved in time. To capture its eerie beauty, fans of the program and music video frequently visit the location. Interestingly, the mall's collapse reflects Westworld's themes, making it a moving representation of the show and the evolving character of urban areas. It offers an insight into the imaginative repurposing of abandoned locations and is a singular fusion of art and reality. Splatalot. Despite its brief run, the 2011 Canadian children's game show Splatalot's medieval-themed set has persisted for much longer than the show itself. The set, constructed to resemble a castle with turrets, moats, and obstacle courses, remains intact more than 10 years later. The site in Ontario has become an intriguing landmark for both program viewers and casual visitors. It's interesting to note that the set's resilience to the weather is a testament to the skill with which it was built. For those who remember the absurd challenges and vibrant personalities, the show's set continues to be a delightful and surprising trip down memory lane, even though it may be a footnote in TV history. Hey Dude. Hey Dude is particularly dear to Nickelodeon fans from the early 1990s. Although it's seen better days, the Western-themed lodge that served as the scene for the television series Bar None Ranch remains intact in Tucson, Arizona. Since the show's 1991 conclusion, the set, which consists of a saloon, stables, and cabins, has deteriorated. For fans who grow up watching Ted, Brad, and the rest of the gang's escapades, the site is nevertheless a sentimental destination, despite its rough state. Curiously, the set's continued existence emphasizes the influence of 90s pop culture. Even though it doesn't have water balloon fights or horseback rides, the Bar None Ranch provides a physical link to a treasured segment of television history. Year 1. Despite not being a critical or financial success, the 2009 comedy Year 1, directed by the renowned Harold Ramis, is nonetheless a fascinating artifact because of its Sibley, Louisiana settings. The sets, including stone buildings, rudimentary communities, and even a recreation of the Garden of Eden, mimic old biblical environments. Fans of Ramis's work and those interested in filmmaking's inner workings have noticed the sets despite the film's unfavorable reviews. The location has also gained popularity among history buffs and photographers who value its distinctive style. Although many people may not remember Year 1, its set reminds them of the imagination and work required to make even the most unusual stories come to life. The Fugitive. The classic bus-train accident scene is just one of the exciting action scenes that made the 1993 blockbuster The Fugitive famous. The Great Smoky Mountains, where the debris is still visible, are the location of this amazing stunt. The production crew employed actual vehicles for the crash to create a vivid and indelible event in cinematic history. The movie's fans now pilgrimage to the location, astounded by the enormity of the stunt. Interestingly, the wreckage hasn't been damaged, so tourists still feel the scene's unadulterated emotion. It's a tribute to the days before computer-generated imagery, when real-world stunts and practical effects were commonplace. This site provides a physical link to one of Hollywood's most exciting scenes, making it a must-visit for fans of action films. Star Wars. Sets like Luke Skywalker's birthhouse and the Mos Eisley Cantina still survive from the original Star Wars trilogy, which brought the desert planet Tatooine to life in Tunisia. Fans continue to make pilgrimage to these historic sites despite the effects of time and sandstorms. Despite being partially buried in sand, the Lars homestead is especially well-liked due to its unique dome shape. Local communities have accepted their position as custodians of this cinematic heritage, despite preservationists' reservations about the set's degradation. It's interesting to note that Tunisia has been a popular destination for movie tourists for decades due to its surreal scenery. A tangible link to the saga's modest origins, touring these sets is like traveling to a galaxy far, far away for Star Wars fans. Anyone who aspires to pilot the Millennium Falcon or wield a lightsaber should visit. Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters. Despite not being a box office success, the 2013 action horror movie Hansel and Gretel, Witch Hunters has gained popularity due to its medieval village, set at Germany's Babelsberg film studio. Visitors are transported to a world straight out of a fairy tale by the elaborately constructed set, which includes a tall castle, cobblestone streets, and timber-framed homes. Although Babelsberg, one of the world's oldest film studios, has played host to innumerable productions, this set is notable for its whimsical, gloomy charm. Interestingly, the studio provides guided tours so guests can see the village and discover how movies are made. This set is a mystical place for fantasy and folklore enthusiasts, providing an insight into the imaginative talent involved in making fairy tales come to life. The Patriot. The Spanish mission set, constructed for the Patriot in Cypress Gardens, South Carolina, has become a permanent fixture and blends in perfectly with the lush, beautiful surroundings. Because of its enduring appeal, the set's rustic church and surrounding buildings, first built for the Revolutionary War epic, appeared in several subsequent movies. With its tranquil marshes and blossoming gardens, Cypress Gardens offers a breathtaking backdrop that heightens the set's authenticity. To fully experience the natural splendor that made the location a filmmaker's dream, visitors can explore the grounds and even take boat cruises through the gardens. Interestingly, the set's lasting presence emphasizes the cooperative link between nature and film, where the two combine to produce something unique. Ryan's Daughter. The Irish village constructed for Ryan's daughter, close to Dingle, Ireland, demonstrates the movie's commitment to authenticity. The set was built to look like a 19th century coastal village and features a church, homes, and a schoolhouse. Much of the set is still intact despite the severe Irish weather, providing insight into the historical setting of the movie. The village is a serene and beautiful tourist destination, and its distant location only enhances its allure. The set represents the timeless bond between Irish landscapes and film narrative. This package is a hidden treasure for lovers of Irish culture and vintage movies, providing a peaceful window into the past. Iron Man. Instead of Afghanistan, as the movie portrays, the cave scene where Tony Stark constructed his original Iron Man suit is in California's Cerrado Gordo mines. Once a thriving silver mine, this ancient mining town was the ideal setting for Stark's metamorphosis into a superhero. The rough, industrial look of the mines gave the grim tone of the movie more realism. Although Cerro Gordo is now a ghost town, people are curious to see where it all started because of its connection to the Marvel Cinematic Universe. It's interesting to note that the mines have a lengthy history of their own, which makes them an intriguing place for history and movie aficionados. The website is like discovering a piece of superhero mythology for Marvel enthusiasts. Death Tunnel. Waverly Hills Sanatorium in Kentucky is an actual abandoned hospital with a sordid past. It served as the setting for the spooky Death Tunnel movie. Horror enthusiasts and paranormal investigators have traveled to Waverly Hills because of its Gothic architecture and alleged hauntings. The sanatorium's dilapidated corridors and deserted chambers aptly reflected the spooky mood of the movie. It's interesting to note that Waverly Hills has been highlighted in many TV series and documentaries, solidifying its standing as one of America's most haunted locations. The sanatorium provides overnight accommodations and guided tours for those who dare to go, offering a chilling experience that makes it difficult to distinguish fact from fiction. Jurassic World. After being ravaged by Hurricane Katrina, the abandoned Six Flags New Orleans was given new life as a location for the Jurassic World movie shoot. The film's CGI-heavy scenes gained a sense of authenticity by transforming the park's dilapidated rides and overgrown walkways into the imaginary theme park's ruins. Fascinatingly, the location has become a favorite among urban explorers and photographers because of its post-apocalyptic atmosphere. Although the park is closed to the public, interest in its possible renovation has increased because of its association with Jurassic World. This place serves as a chilling reminder to franchise fans of the strength of nature and the frailty of human inventions. Session 9. Session 9's setting, Danvers State Hospital, is a terrifying illustration of how authentic settings can heighten a movie's mood. The expansive Gothic grandeur and somber past of the asylum made it the ideal setting for the psychological suspense novel. The hospital's famous administration building still survives, even though most of it's been destroyed, attracting moviegoers and urban adventurers. It's interesting to note that Danvers represents the horror genre, having served as the inspiration for innumerable stories. The site provides an eerie look into the past for anyone interested in the nexus between history and terror. Field of Dreams. One of the most famous movie settings in the world is the baseball diamond from Field of Dreams in Dyersville, Iowa. The field, constructed for the 1989 classic, represents optimism, fondness, and a passion for the game. Major League Baseball started holding yearly games at the location in 2021, attracting thousands of spectators. Interestingly, the field is still a functioning farm, fusing its history as a movie with real-life activities. The site is a fantastic place where fantasies come true for both moviegoers and baseball fans. 12 Monkeys. The movie 12 Monkeys was filmed at Eastern State Penitentiary, a famous jail with a rich history. The prison, well known for its severe conditions and radial layout, is now a well-liked tourist destination and museum. The venue was ideal for the film's dystopian plot because of its creepy aura. Fascinatingly, thrill-seekers go from all over the nation to Eastern State for their yearly haunted house event. This site provides an intriguing fusion of historical and cinematic curiosity for moviegoers and history buffs. Das Boot. Das Boot, a riveting military movie from 1981, vividly captured the cramped tension of submarine combat with its painstakingly constructed settings. For inside shots and a bigger exterior model for ocean sequences, the production team built a full-scale model of a German U-boat from World War II. Parts of the set were left behind at the Bavarian Film Studios in Germany after production, and they're still there today. The remains of the once impressive submarine, rusted and worn by time, are a chilling reminder of the film's extreme reality. Other parts remain stuck in time, slowly deteriorating, resembling the unsettling fate of actual combat ships buried beneath the waters, while other portions were converted into museum exhibitions. Girl Interrupted. The 1999 film Girl Interrupted, shot at the Harrisburg State Hospital in Pennsylvania, provided viewers with an unvarnished and poignant glimpse at a mental health facility. This abandoned movie set was operational during production, unlike most others. Initially built in the middle of the 1800s and officially closed in 2006, the facility, originally called the Pennsylvania State Lunatic Hospital, left behind haunting, unadulterated traces of its history. The hospital is still stuck in time with antique documents, medical equipment, and furnishings strewn everywhere. Rumors of paranormal activity have been circulating the site's deserted corridors, attracting urban explorers and ghost hunters. The abandoned hospital continues to serve as a haunting yet intriguing reminder of its past as a mental health facility in real life and its film legacy. Lord of the Rings. The Lord of the Rings trilogy's Hobbiton has not been abandoned to decay like many other abandoned film sets. Instead, it's grown into a popular tourist destination. Initially built on a verdant sheep farm in Matamata, New Zealand, the scenic set was intended to be taken down after production, but because of the tremendous demand from fans, it was preserved. Visitors can enter Middle-earth through the recognizable Party Tree, the Green Dragon Inn, and the unique round-doored hobbit holes, which have been preserved as a living museum. The set's long-term survival was ensured by its subsequent reconstruction with permanent structures for the Hobbit trilogy, despite its initial construction using temporary materials. Offering guided tours, themed events, and even the chance to have a drink in the Green Dragon, the site continues to attract thousands of Tolkien enthusiasts each, making it one of the few movie sets that have withstood the test of time and have instead become an enduring part of cinematic history. Asterix and Obelix, Mission Cleopatra. Asterix and Obelix, Mission Cleopatra is still a massive hit in France, even though it may not be as well known worldwide as The Lord of the Rings. Grand Egyptian-style sets were necessary to make the picture, a live-action adaptation of the popular Asterix comic books, come to life. But instead of filming in Egypt, the producers constructed their ornate old buildings in Ouarzazate, Morocco, sometimes called the Hollywood of Africa. Several major films, such as Gladiator and Game of Thrones, have been filmed in Ouarzazate. The pyramids and tall temples built for Mission Cleopatra remain, blending in with the surrounding desert. The site feels even more ancient and deserted now that nature has started to reclaim it. The set, which provides a glimpse inside one of France's most popular films, is still an interesting but sometimes neglected location for moviegoers traveling to Morocco. The Blues Brothers. The Dixie Square Mall in Harvey, Illinois was already a ghost town before the Blues Brothers came, in contrast to other deserted movie locations constructed for filming. One of the most famous vehicle chases in movie history takes place in the 1980 cult film, as Jake and Elwood Blues drive through the empty mall hallways while police cars smash through the inside. Before filming, the mall, which had first opened in 1966, had been closed for almost 2 years. After the film's conclusion, the mall was left unoccupied for decades, gradually deteriorating as nature took over. Thanks to urban explorers and graffiti artists, it became a well-liked yet risky attraction over time. Although the building was eventually dismantled in 2012 because of its increasing instability, its significance in film history endures. Fans of the Blues Brothers continue to visit the now-empty lot to honor one of the most memorable and chaotic chase scenes ever captured on camera. Full Metal Jacket. Full Metal Jacket was a good example of Stanley Kubrick's painstaking attention to detail. Instead of traveling to Southeast Asia to recreate the war-torn Vietnamese city of Hue, Kubrick converted the Beckton Gas Works. This abandoned industrial site was about to be demolished in London. The film's dramatic fight scenes were perfectly set against the backdrop of the tall, dilapidated brick buildings. Kubrick permitted his team to destroy portions of the factory, creating devastation and increasing the realism. The gasworks remains are still visible today, strewn with graffiti and mostly ignored by the general public. The spooky, post-apocalyptic setting has drawn movie enthusiasts and urban explorers who want to experience a bit of cinematic history. Visitors may still identify the dilapidated buildings that initially provided the backdrop for one of the most impactful war movies ever produced, even though much of it has been covered by vegetation. The Abyss. The Abyss needed one of the most unusual film sets ever built, and James Cameron is no stranger to big-picture endeavors. The enormous water tanks of the Cherokee Nuclear Power Plant in Gaffney, South Carolina, served as the set for the 1989 underwater science fiction epic. After the plant was never finished, Cameron converted the enormous, deserted building into an underwater film studio. The cast and crew endured rigorous circumstances underwater for hours to bring the film's deep-sea journey to life. The set survived almost 10 years after filming was finished until being destroyed in the late 1990s. Film historians and scuba divers who aspire to explore what was once Hollywood's most extensive underwater set still hold the location in high regard despite its destruction. Even though little is left now, the Abyss is regarded as a landmark in film history and helped establish the foundation for later underwater cinematography methods. Lone Star. Contrabando, Texas, a real-life ghost town, served as the setting for the 1996 movie Lone Star. Contrabando, tucked away along the Rio Grande, has long been a popular spot for westerns and films set in the desert, but Lone Star gave it its most well-known moment. Even though time and the elements have worn them down, the adobe buildings used for the movie, which included houses and a small saloon, still survive today. Contrabando is a well-known destination for road trippers and photographers since it's accessible to the public, unlike many abandoned film sets that are closed to visitors. Although the area has been used in several movies and television series throughout the years, its most notable feature remains its part in Lone Star. It's a time capsule of classic Western filming and one of Texas's few Old West-style sets. It draws those who want to enter a scene from the heyday of Hollywood. Zero Dark 30. The dramatic tale of the mission to apprehend Osama bin Laden is told in Zero Dark 30. Although the film's Pakistani setting was recreated in California, the Santa Clarita-based Blue Cloud Ranch, well known for its numerous movie sets, was turned into a realistic Middle Eastern setting. Much of the set, including the remains of the helicopter crash scenario, was left behind after filming. An uncanny, almost surreal scene was produced as the abandoned props deteriorated. Once a hive of cinematic magic, the location is now mostly unaltered and draws interested tourists who recognize the relics from the highly regarded movie. The spectral remnants of Zero Dark 30 remind viewers of Hollywood's capacity to take viewers to far-off worlds without ever leaving California, even though some of the set has been used for other projects. Big Fish. The hamlet A Spectre was one of the most memorable settings in Tim Burton's whimsical fantasy, Big Fish. The picturesque hamlet of Millbrook, Alabama, was built from the ground up and featured a modest main street, a church, and entirely built dwellings. Rather than being demolished after filming, the settlement was left in ruins and gradually deteriorated. Though it now appears much more eerie, trees have taken over the streets, houses are collapsing, and the once magical setting resembles something from a horror film rather than a fairy tale. Spectre still stands today. The remains are open for exploration, allowing visitors to stroll among the unsettling traces of Burton's vision. Fans who wish to enter a surreal ghost town that retains the charm of its cinematic history are drawn to Spectre because it's still open, unlike many abandoned movie sets that are off-limits. If you've watched the video till here, that means you've enjoyed the video. Subscribe. Don't forget to turn on the notifications bell icon